Welcome to our teaching today, which is focusing on land ownership. Land is right now the place to hide your money, the place to put your money. One, land is slow, but it will eventually deliver. And there are various kinds of land properties, recreational land, and for those farming land, timber land, hunting land, land where, land where properties can be built, real estate can be built, houses can be built. And there are different kinds of ownerships: sole ownership, joint tenancy, tenancy in common, community property, buying the land and leasing to other people. It is, or buying to hold, to keep for a period. The benefit of land ownership, the benefit of land ownership. Land is an inexpensive instrument to hold as a long-term investment. An inexpensive instrument to hold as a long-term investment because it is land and because it probably has no build on it, it is likely to be inexpensive. And so you can hold it for a long term. And you can actually, even when you are now selling, you may decide not to sell the freehold. You may decide to sell the leasehold. And so it stayed, the final freehold stays in your family so that your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, et cetera, benefit from it. Land, number two, land ownership gives you peace of mind. Like I said earlier, with Bitcoin, for example, or all the other coins, cryptocurrency, you have to keep checking. Is it doing well? Is it not doing well? Matter of fact, like you've known, if you've been on this platform for some time, you know that I have always expressed trepidation when it comes to crypto. It's likely to do well in the future. The way the world is going, the world is going to be essentially cashless. Crypto will do well in the future, but until the future comes and there is a solution. My biggest challenge with cryptocurrency is that you can't tie it to anything. The British pound is tied to the economy of the United Kingdom. Its rising or falling is dependent on the strength of the economy. The American dollar is tied to the American economy. Crypto is based on speculation. Some people are just driving it. One statement can drive a completely not known coin up. Elon Musk makes a comment about Doge, and next thing, boom, the coin went crazy. The founder suddenly became a billionaire. And then another day, somebody makes another statement, it falls down. Thirdly, they are not making more of land. There's not more land made. There is a limit to the ones available where you are. The more people snap it up, the lesser there is available. So they are not making more land. There's no more creation of land. There's more creation of buildings. Creation of companies and the building of houses. But there is no more land being created. Rather, the lesser available, the more the value. The lesser available, the more the value. So those who jumped into the land market early take advantage, but don't be discouraged. There's always a time for everyone to get into the land market and be part of the process. But part of the land benefit of land number 4 is that you can buy and sell vacant land without even seeing it. Of course, that would be in economies and systems where a degree of legal tightness operates. I wouldn't suggest this for Africa unless you really are buying from people who have their reputation at stake. And even with that, by the time we get to talking about Africa, you will see some of the challenges of buying when you are not there. And we'll show you how to buy without you being there, which will really, really give you peace of mind. The questions you should ask them. And if they're unable to answer those questions, then you know that you should exercise some trepidation. But generally, you can go online in the United Kingdom and you can buy land without even visiting. Once you saw the land, you saw the value, and they've expressed what you can do on the land and what you cannot do, you can choose to buy. Same thing with the United States of America and the rest of Europe or Australia. You can buy. It's just that you have to also be very careful. You need to understand that scammers are no longer people of my color alone. People have joined the scammer space and they're scamming people of money. However, there are genuine people in the land market who sell and who can make you be able to buy without having to visit the place. Number 5, you call the shots as a land investor. You decide what you want to do with your land, if it is within the remit of the permission given for such land. There are land that is only strictly agricultural. You can't buy it in the hope that it will change. There are lands that are strictly residential. It depends on what the local government in the area is ready to give planning permission for. Number 6, you have very little competition. Forgive. This is one of those grammar errors I noticed at the last minute. You have very little competition to deal with. When you're buying land, I mean, can you believe post-COVID, or just as COVID was coming to an end, because the Chancellor of the Exchequer here in the United Kingdom decided to stroke the economy, said anybody who bought property within a certain period will not pay stamp duty within a certain amount. Boom! There was such craze for property purchase, for house purchase. As a result, it became a seller's market. So this house, which the owner put out for £200,000 and had 4 people chasing to buy the same house, the seller moved it to 210,000. The same 4 still stayed. The seller moved it to £215,000. It is called gazumping. But with land, you don't have much competition. Not many people look into land. They just want a house. They don't want to go through the hassle of land ownership, whereas they don't realize it's a hidden jewel. There are people in the United Kingdom who are sweeping up all the land available and keeping in a banking system, particularly land, money they will not need in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years. Because please, let's put a caveat here. Do not go and buy land with money you need tomorrow. Very little competition to deal with. All right, so we have the correction in number 7. Number 8, raw land is a hands-off investment. It's hands-off. You don't need to do anything. I just told you about land that was beside our new estate we're developing, Macarius. The people who bought it in 2017, 5 years actually, they did nothing. They didn't cut grass. They didn't even pursue the bushmeat inside, if there was any. Did nothing. And 5 years on, they sold it 4 times the value. What a way. There is no bank that can give you such return on your money. It is not, there's no such bank. Not at all. Not at all. So raw land is hands-off investment. You don't have to be watching. If you buy shares, if you didn't go through maybe mutuals, you find that you have to be watching. How is this share performing? How is that share performing? How is this investment performing? How is my investment portfolio? But with land, it is hands-off. It is just going on. Number 9, it is more fun to own than stocks and shares. That is why it is real estate, more fun. Because with stocks and shares, somebody's booga, somebody's mistake can bring the shares down, can increase the value. This year, value have been washed off Facebook because of probably some missteps by the founder in the process of creating the metaverse. Some value have been washed off Tesla, probably because of comments or investment mistakes of the founder. But with land, it is stable, it is there, it takes time, but when it wakes up, it's a great giant that woke. Number 10, little startup is little startup fund. I needed to put fund there. It's required in some places. Little startup fund is required in some places. You could buy land with very little and just watch, and then it goes up. Like I told you of this particular land, which only little was put in by the people who bought it. And then 5 years on, they had 4 times. By the way, I got to know they had 4 times the money, because they would never want to tell you, was that we required the receipt they got from the family that sold from them, so that we can approach the family to write fresh new receipt for us. When you buy land, you need to create very good root of title for your land. In some places, these things are still very manual. Very manual. So you have to go get all receipts from those families. So those families take advantage. They say, for us to sign, you have to pay. So you pay them. A 2-second signature can cost you, oh geez, man. But then because you know the value it will bring back, you're ready to pay. So little startup fund is required in a lot of places for land purchase.